In today's video, I want to challenge you in the realm of your mental muscle. If you've been following me for any extended period of time, we've talked a lot about the physical, we've talked a lot about the nutritional, we've talked about flexibility. Today I want to challenge you on the mental side of things. Let me ask you a very simple question. Do you find yourself motivated more through fear of failure, or are you more motivated by the pleasure of success? Now, please don't roll your eyes and think that's a little bit fluffy and flaky around the edges. Stop and think about this. Many times when I have a high-profile athlete that makes a lot of money, I always ask them, why do you do what you do? And I've never ever, regardless of sport, had somebody that could immediately come out and answer that question. Why do you do what you do? With a little bit of time and thinking, it usually comes back as, well, this is all I know how to do. I've done it most of my life, if not all of my life, depending on the age of the athlete. Why are you doing it? And what ends up becoming the inevitable next part of the conversation is, well, I do it because that's all I know to do. All right, so pause and think about that mental mindset. Are you doing it because you're afraid that you have no other skills that you can acquire? Maybe you're tight on time or resources financially that keep you from being able to expand your portfolio of capabilities. That makes sense. It certainly makes sense. But are you doing it because you enjoy what you do? This is where I want you to stop and think about the difference between being motivated towards the pleasure of success versus the fear of failure. Because ironically, if you don't know what you're trying to achieve, you find yourself just looking like a hamster on a treadmill that's just running and running and running, and it's just because that's what's familiar, and it even gets to a point where that's what becomes comfortable. Doesn't mean it's productive. It doesn't mean it's pleasurable. It's just that's what you get programmed to do. Now, if I can get you to stop and take some time and write down 3 or 4 things that you want to get out of your job, 2 or 3 things you would like to try to get out of a healthy relationship, 2 or 3 things you'd like to get out of health and some level of performance. Be very specific. Because when you start to quantify, and obviously I'm going to keep it in the realm of athleticism for this particular video, when you sign up for an event, let's say that you sign up for a 5K running race. Once you put that date on the calendar, this is really where it's going to challenge you is, do you do every workout because you're like, uh-oh, the date's coming up and I need to be ready? Or do you establish a goal and you realize training is now a divide and conquer game? It's about not loathing a workout, but understanding it's a building block to move you closer to the success that you want. And please do yourself a favor. Don't worry about what anybody else says or thinks. Again, I know that can be a little bit flaky in today's day and age. Why are you doing it? What do you want to accomplish? So here you are. Here's where you want to get to. Now you have all this opportunity in the middle to make it a reality. That feeling of success needs to be one building block at a time. If I can, sometimes I think it's easier to use a negative illustration to get a positive understood. If you decide to give up soda because you're trying to lose 15 pounds of body fat, are you looking at the not having that soda today as a sacrifice, or is that an investment towards where you want to be? If we go back to the realm of financial, every dollar you don't spend, you can put that in savings. Health and fitness, speed, going faster is just like money. You don't always have to make more money. You could just save money and you have more money. Speed, you don't have to always get faster. You just need to slow down less. And that's what I want to challenge you on here on the mental side. If I can ask you to please change your perspective 1 degree, start making a divide and conquer list that's realistic. I tell my clients all the time, please don't try to jump the Grand Canyon. Let's just jump over the sidewalk today. But once I get over the first sidewalk, I can get over the next and the next. Now you can look back in the rearview mirror and go, gosh, 6 weeks ago, I was running 10 seconds slower. Now I'm running 10 seconds faster. How did you do it? Consistency? Sure. Physically stronger? Absolutely. Building an aerobic engine? Absolutely. Sleeping enough? Absolutely. Well, now because you know what you did, you can keep carrying it forward and the incremental improvement is guaranteed. The only 2 things that will set you back is an injury or an illness. And this is where I think it's interesting. When you work in a mode of fear, it will fast track you to an injury and an illness. When you work in a mode of pleasure and divide and conquer, You're willing to be mentally open-minded to say, you know what, my resting heart rate's elevated today, my body battery is low, I'm just going to go ahead and walk today. I'm not even going to run. And have that mental confidence to say, you know what, it was the best thing to do today. Because if I did try to smash myself with that run, I could suppress my immune system and get sick, and or I could run myself right into an injury. So I want to leave you with that challenge today. Challenge yourself to change your perspective and always work in a proactive manner, not in a fluffy way just because everybody's got to, we have to love what we do. I personally would like to see you enjoy doing everything that you're doing, but I would love to see you move towards your desirable goal, looking at each effort as a more of a positive experience and a building block versus fear-based. So give that some thought. Definitely try to apply it immediately. Do me a favor, if you have a question or something you'd like me to dive down deep on, every day here on YouTube, we're launching a new video every morning. Send it to contact@coachrobb.com. We'll be uploading a new video tomorrow morning, and I hope to see you then.